recovery speed on the Equinox and reactivity on the DS2. Stay tuned. I'm going to talk about it right now. All right, everybody, this is one important function on these machines that you really need to understand. What is it? What it is how fast the computer is analyzing that target before it starts to hit the next target. It goes over, it's sending the signal down, sending the signal back up, and it's trying to analyze what it is. Well, how fast is it taking time to do that is what these are. Recovery, I'm going to just call it recovery speed so it's easy to understand. It's how fast it recovers from, okay, there's a target, what is it? Okay, let's go to the next target. What is that? There it is. How fast it does. And you shorten it down to a smaller time frame for the computer to analyze it. And when you do that, it does adjust the depth. A lot of people say it does, and I'm going to show you that in a little test out here outside in just a second. So the higher the recovery speed or the reactivity, the lower the depth. Just remember that. But the higher the number, you can segregate those targets faster. If you got a lot of nails, a coin, a lot of nails, then you can separate them. If you're on the beach, put it low as you can get it, you're fine, because you're normally only looking for a coin or a ring, a diamond ring, or whatever. So on the beach, it doesn't matter as much. You can keep it as low as you want to go, and you can go deep. Definitely goes deeper doing that. And that's why I've been able to go a little deeper on the beach with that Equinox because of that. And that's why John Boy beat me sometime. But anyway, what we're going to do is go test that out. But you want to keep it, the main thing is when you get into a like an old home site, it's got nails everywhere and got all kind of different targets. When you swing, it's trying to analyze 10 targets maybe. So that's when it comes into play when you do that. But you got to remember how it's affecting the machine. Everybody posts all their settings. This is my settings for the day, or whatever. You got to change those settings at time. And I'll post mine when I get to that point, but I will still adjust. Even on my Equinox, I have to adjust sometimes depending on what's going on in the surroundings. You got to know what's happening, so it's better to understand what that setting is doing. So anyway, let's get outside right now, and we'll show you a couple tests on it right now. All right, the first thing we'll do, I'm going to show you the depth difference when you use this function. I'm going to take a standard silver standard Liberty quarter here and show you the difference. First, we're going to start off with the MyLab Equinox. And we're going to be, we're on a beach right now, but we got the recovery speed at 1. That's the lowest it'll go. So let's go back. Let's see how deep it'll go. All right, here we go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It'll go about 15 inches, as you can see right here. 15 inches. All right, so now let's change the recovery speed to the highest. 8. That's the highest it goes, okay? So how deep will it go now? It went 15 inches before, so how deep is it going to go now? 6, 7, 8, 10. 10 is the high, low as it'll go and still get a beep. 10. So, yes, it does affect the depth. I'll run it real quick with the DAS to show you the depth change on that one. Let's do it. All right, here we got the DAS set up here. And hopefully we can see that. Reactivity is 0. That's low as it'll go. We'll get off of that. We're on the beach setting just for GP here. Nice and loud. 10, 11, 12, 14. Right at 15 too. Right at 15 before it kind of goes away. Alright, now let's lower this reactivity speed down to, let's see if we can get it here. Reactivity, we're going to raise it. Oh, whoop, I'm sorry. Boy, I tell you what, I still learn how to, these functions here, so we're going to go plus. We'll go from there all the way up to the highs of 5. Alright, get a little chatter there, but that's alright. We're just testing depth here. 6, 7, 8, 9. Without the chatter, they hear that's about 10. About the same as the the Equinox. So they're both about the same, about 15 to 10 on both of them, pretty much similar. So we know it loses depth when you up the recovery speed or reactivity. So I just want to make that clear when you start making adjustments to it. So now let's actually see what it does. All right, what I have here is 6 nails surrounding a silver quarter right here. And what's happening, that computer's trying to read this, decide what's going on, read this one, decide what's going to read this one, and such forth. How fast can it analyze all this and still see that quarter is the question. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set these up and run this thing right through here, across here, and see what happens. Y'all ready? Let's do it. All right, we got on speech 2, and we're going to go over here. We're going to set recovery speed on 8. That's the fastest. It should be able to see the difference in that stuff right there now between the nails and the quarter. And we're going to cut the iron on here. Let's go back to the original here first. So you can hear the iron. All right, here we go. Let's see how it looks here. Here we go. Let's see what it does. Here we go. All right, I can see it in the mirror right there what it's doing. -5. I got the volume low, but -5. It's not seeing this quarter. That's the fastest this machine will go. It's not seeing that quarter right there. Now I'm 10 inches away. Let's go back. 6 inches away, 5 inches away. What? Now, 4 inches is starting to get a little beep at 4 inches if it's only 4 inches underground. Now, at 1 inch, 1 inch is starting to analyze a little better at 1 inch. That is the fastest. Now, when I start changing this down to slowest, it's not going to be as good. But let's change it right now. So we're going to go in here. And we're going to change the recovery speed to the lowest it'll go. It'll go the deepest there, but it has a harder time trying to analyze these targets. So now, what we got there, it's not hearing it at 5, 4. I'm going to try to slow it down so it can hear it. It is starting to see a little bit, but not much. Once in a while, like, would you dig that and you just get that little beep? Probably not. You got one little beep there, one time. There it goes, that second one. 4 inches, 5 inches there, you'll hear nothing. But it is having a harder time with a slower recovery speed. All right, we got the DAS set up here, sort of beach mode. Reactivity at 5, as high as it'll go right there. So we got it set up right there. So now we're going to come over here. It should be able to see this, hopefully, with this. And we'll start, but it's dropped a depth down because of it. But as we see, we can see it on the mirror right there. At 4 inches, it's seeing it pretty easy. That's a little better than the Equinox. Right there, I can see it, 93, 93. As you can see right here, about 4 inches is not a problem. Which is pretty good, actually. When we get within 2 inches, it is constant. It is picking up. You dig that all day long. It's consistent enough, you dig it all day long. That is definitely more consistent than the Equinox was giving me right there. Look at that. So, it's looking like the DAS is giving me a better signal for something in mixed iron. Let's talk about it inside. One reason I wanted to check it today was I was in the field yesterday with John Boy, and we were testing each other. Every time I go out, I'm testing. All right, do you hear this? Would you dig this, etc. So I got a signal, and I had John Boy come over, and it was really scratchy on his machine. He may not have dug it. On my machine, it was a clear, definite diggable signal. It was this right here. It's a old 1600s colonial buckle, and that's something, a prized possession we want to dig in the 1600s area. So the DAS definitely won yesterday in a colonial field with all the iron and everything. I definitely could pull out better targets, in my opinion, right now. On the beach, John Boy beat me though on quarters for some reason, and I hadn't figured it out yet. But I'm not 100% sold. I like the DAS, no question about it. It's a great machine. So far it's been doing pretty much equal to the Equinox. like I said, the only problem I had was those quarters was giving me some trouble. But anyway, it did separate better in this scenario. But I've still got a lot of testing to do. I'm not 100% sold on it, but it is lighter. Like I said, a couple things, the lightness of it. You can dive over 10 feet with it. That's one of my main concerns with it. And I'm working on a special shaft in order to be able to dive with it when the time comes. So you'll see that come up in the future. But I'm still testing. We'll see what's going on. I'll let you know. All right, well, I appreciate everybody coming on. I hope that kind of explained a little bit to you about those functions right there, reactivity and recovery speed. Keep an eye on that. And you may have to adjust it depending on where you're at. Like the beach lows you can get it. In the field, you're going to have to figure out a good part, maybe not the highest, which I always go to extremes when I test something so we can kind of see it. There's some good margin in between those extremes where you need it, like in the field. Halfway in between it might be good, just depends on how deep you want to go and still get separation. So got to keep that in mind. All right, don't forget to click like, comment below, share, and subscribe to Gigmaster. We'll see you in the next adventure.